Hey guys, it's Joe from the World of Hoops. Today we're going to talk about the pick and roll, the screen and roll. If you watch basketball at all, you know that from every level, from high school to the NBA, the pick and roll is a critical part of a basketball, both offensively and defensively, because you have to be able to guard it. Today, we're going to talk about the offensive side. We're going to talk about actually running and executing the pick and roll. The focus is going to be with you as the ball handler, but if you're the screener, you're also going to learn what you need to do and what the ball handler will be doing. So we're going to teach you what defender you have to read, how you read them, and what decisions you make based on what the defense does. So pay attention, leave comments and questions, and good luck to you.
First off, I want to quickly talk about why you run a pick and roll. The first reason is to create a play. If you run this perfectly without any help defense, it's almost impossible to stop. You're either going to get an open shot or you're going to get a layup on a roll to the basket. The second reason is this creates a mismatch. Usually screen and rolls, pick and rolls are a big guy screening a little guy or vice versa, and the defense is often forced to switch. So even if the pick and roll itself doesn't score, you then have a little guy guarding a big guy or vice versa. Lastly, there's the overall impact of the pick and roll. It forces the defense to make decisions, whether to switch, double team, go under, go over. And this is really hard to do and hard to have everybody working together. Additionally, it makes the rest of the defenders help and rotate, and it makes a lot of attention there, which leaves other guys outside of the pick and roll open for easy shots or layups. There are four basic fundamentals for the ball handler in the pick and roll. There's taking the ball to level the screen, coming off the screen tight and low, changing speeds, and reading the defense. So if we talk about the first skill, it's taking the ball to the level of the screen. So if you see in this video, the ball handler takes the ball all the way down to the level of the screen before he starts to come across to actually use the screen. Now this is in an ideal world. You won't always be able to take the ball to the level of the screen because often your offense or the play you're running doesn't allow for that or doesn't require it. But this is where it makes it the hardest for the defense. The next item is coming off the screen tight and low. So if you watch here, once to the level of the screen, the offensive player then comes off really close to the screener. You see how there's no way a defender could fit between the ball handler and the screener here? This means the defender either runs into the screen or has to go under the screen, which gives you an opportunity to shoot. The screener, however, has to make sure that he's set and does not move at all, and it's your job to basically brush up against him as you come off the screen. The next up is changing speeds. Changing speeds is vital in basketball at all times, particularly here. If you watch this clip, you can see the ball handler dribbles up nice and easy, but then picks up the speed a little bit as he comes off the screen. The last thing is probably the most important, and that's reading the defense. You need to be able to read the defense to have success with the pick and roll. There's a few keys here. The first thing you're trying to pick up is what is your defender doing and what's he going to do? Is he going to go under the screen, over the screen? Is he cheating over the screen? There's different options depending on what he's doing. Next, you look at what your teammate, the screener's defender, is doing. Is he going to jump out and give a hard hedge? Is he going to double team you? Or is he going to sink back and let his man recover? Next, you need to know what your abilities are and what the abilities of the screener are. If you're good at going to the hoop and splitting double teams, you might be able to split. If you're good at shooting and a guy's cheating under, that might be an opportunity for you to shoot. Ideally, you can do all these things, which gives you a lot of options, but then you need to know what the screener is able to do. For instance, if you're getting a screen from a big guy, you know that there's a good chance there's a mismatch and you can lob it up to him to finish in the paint. Or if your screener is a good shooter, they might pick and pop and have an open look. Lastly, you just have to react. And we're going to go over some different scenarios and what you will likely have to do or want to do. So we're going to go through some different scenarios on what the defenders do and what your action is going to be. The first one is if the first defender goes under the screen or gets screened, and the second defender we don't worry about here because this action actually occurs before they do anything. This if they're going under or getting screened, you have the ability to shoot behind the screen. So once the defender's screened, you can pull up for an easy shot. The next scenario, defender 1 quickly jumps over the screen or goes under it early. And the second defender doesn't matter because, again, we're going to take action before they do. Here we're going to quickly go opposite the screen. So rather than actually using the screen, we're going to bingo back the other way and go towards the hoop. So you see here just a couple examples of how you can do that. There's multiple different ways, and this is just when the defender's cheating, you can get a quick, easy hoop. Next up, we have when the first defender is screened effectively, and the second defender hard hedges or jumps way out. There are 3 options here. First, you can split the defense. This means going between the 2 defenders. Second, you can beat the big man around the corner. And third, you can actually pass to the screener. Here are a couple examples of splitting the defense. Here's just someone drilling, splitting. And then you can see an actual demonstration here. Defender cheats out, you can split through. Next is an example of beating the man around the corner. And last, we have an example of hitting the screener on the hard hedge. Next is a similar defensive situation where defender 1 is screened effectively and defender 2 is doing what we call soft hedge. So he's not jumping way out, but he's helping, or he's dropping back, and what he's really doing is letting the first defender recover. Here your options are a little bit different. You can try to beat that second defender around the corner, but what you might have here is shooting from behind the screen like you had in the first scenario. You may also have a pick and pop if your screener is a good shooter. And lastly, what you might have is a mismatch. So if you actually wait, you may see that you have a small guy guarding a big guy and you can throw it to him in the post. Now you may also be double teamed. This would be where both defender 1 and 2 come and double team you and trap you. Your actions here are kind of similar to a hard hedge. Your first look might be to split the defense if there's an opening. Your second look might be to beat that big guy around the corner if you can. And third, you may have a back dribble and look for the open man, or a pick and pop. And here you'll just find some examples again of the splitting the double. Then you can see beating around the corner. Here's a quick pass to the screener, but be careful throwing over the defense. And lastly, you have a pick and pop here where both defenders W and the screener's open for a jump shot. One additional thing to point out is that you always have the option to just back dribble and reset the offense. There's nothing hurt by that, and sometimes that's actually the best option. So these are all the different scenarios that you might see. Now, you'll probably see other things, and nothing's going to seem that straightforward, and nothing in basketball ultimately goes exactly by the plan that you have. So what you have to do is read and react. You have to practice these, and you have to know both your teammates and your defenders. There's some good defenders, there's some bad defenders. But practice this, keep reviewing it, hopefully you learn something, and good luck to you.